Welcome to Veterans Helping Veterans through Financial Inclusion and launch of the Veterans Peer-to-Peer Earned Income Tax Credit Campaign in San Diego. The program was initially launched by Citi's Community Relations in Southern California, the team led by James Alva, Senior Vice President and Market Leader, and through the California State University at Northridge, the Veterans Earned Income Tax Credit, EITC program in Los Angeles, we saw great success for the veteran community. Today's launch reflects how Citi looks at the needs of the community through many lenses, then leveraging best practices to expand impact. Thank you, Dr. Raphael Efrat, Chair in Taxation and Professor of Bookstein Institute at Cal State Northridge, and Rashi Klur with Citi Community Relations for your guidance to help us expand the program to San Diego. My name is Childer with Citi Community Relations Unit, a part of the Citi Community Investing and Development. Our first speaker is Ricky Shabazz, who has a doctorate in education with research expertise in increasing college access for underrepresented students. He was first in his family to attend college and takes pride in helping students from diverse communities achieve academic excellence. I'm honored to welcome San Diego City College President, Dr. Ricky Shabazz.
Thank you, Chi, and thank you to the entire Citi team, Allison, everyone who helped put this very important event together. Certainly proud of our Professor Carr and Dean Rose and the entire City College team who was able to come together to help our veterans. Over $1 million is going to go in the hands of our much deserving veterans as a result of our students at San Diego City College helping to do taxes. And so it's a great opportunity to give real world experience, help folks who have financial needs, help our local veterans. City College is very near to 32nd Street base. And so we offer courses at the military bases. And so it's a great opportunity to give back to our community, being that community colleges are community is the first word in community colleges. And so we're very happy of our VIPs. I know our newly elected mayor is going to be with us. Our city council member is going to be with us, and a number of VIPs that are here to celebrate the great work of our City College students, our faculty, our community, and to celebrate our veterans. And so again, thank you. We're so proud that we could partner with Citi to help our community.
Thank you, Ricky. And next speaking is Ms. Rose LaMoralia, a veteran of the Armed Services who served in the U.S. Navy for 7 years. She's currently a PhD candidate at San Diego State University and Dean of the Business Studies at San Diego City College. Please welcome Dean Rose LaMoralia.
Good morning, everyone. I first of all want to thank all the parties involved for making our VITA program a success. Particularly, I want to thank Shayna for actually spearheading this project, and a retired faculty person, Sally Deaton, that was the person that envisioned this years before her time. Our program exemplifies the intersection of three vital social justice elements. Number one, we provide the training, the education, and the experience for low-income students that are the ones traditionally joining the program to become tax preparers. Why social justice? Think about it. After a few classes, they are prepared to do tax preparation, and they can earn a starting pay, average starting pay of $16 an hour. The second piece of this project is that it helps our community, our low-income community. And as you all know, we live downtown San Diego. So by helping this community, we have actually quantified $1 million in tax returns every year since we started. That is money going back to our community and helping those who actually need it the most. And last but not least is to help our veterans and their families. We serve a great deal of number of veterans at the college and also at the community. And by doing so, by doing this tax preparation, we believe that we're making a difference. So first of all, thank you, everybody.
Our next speaker, Tony Atkins, comes from a very humble background. Born and raised in rural Southwestern Virginia, the daughter of a miner and a seamstress, and graduated with a bachelor's degree in political science from Emory and Henry College in Virginia. From her 8-year tenure on the San Diego City Council to her years in the legislature, she has dedicated her career to serving as a champion for veterans and all of our diverse communities, advocating for providing affordable housing for veterans, their families, and underserved communities throughout California, securing hard-earned benefits for men and women who have served their country. She has co-authored the bill that led to the Proposition 41, which repurposed $600 million in available funding to pay for veteran housing. Elected by voters to the State Assembly in 2010, she served for 6 years In 2014, her colleagues selected her to be the Speaker of the Assembly. She became the first San Diegan, first lesbian to hold the position. She counts a $7.5 billion water bond, and she led the creation of the State Earned Income Tax Credit, what we know as Cal EITC. She's the first person in 150 years and third in California history to lead both houses of the California legislature. I'm honored to welcome my senator and one of my heroes, Senate President Pro Tem Tony Atkins, representing the 39th District.
Good morning, and thank you for that incredible introduction. Good morning, everybody. And thank you, Citi. Citi salutes and San Diego City College for the invitation to join you and be with you today. I am so pleased to be with you to virtually launch the Veterans Helping Veterans Earned Income Tax Credit Program here in San Diego. This event connects two issues that are very dear to my heart, our military community and the Cal EITC. My ties and my connections to the military run deep and are quite personal. My father, both my brothers, my twin sister, brother-in-law, uncles, cousins, two of my nephews all served in our armed forces. In fact, I moved to San Diego in order to help my sister care for her son while she served. She was stationed at 32nd Street. I have a great admiration and appreciation for our military community, and I'm proud of how vital our military is to the San Diego region as a whole. Nearly a quarter of our local economy is directly tied to the military. One of my proudest achievements to date, elected official, is creating a state earned income tax credit that supplements the federal EITC. There's been at least 7 attempts within the legislature to get it passed. And as Chi mentioned, I'm proud to say we got it done when I was the Speaker of the Assembly in 2015. Cal EITC, as many of us know, is a refundable tax credit that's been so successful because it gets cash pumped right back into the economy as recipients spend it on groceries and other essential goods and services. Over the years, the legislature and governor have expanded Cal EITC so that more working families benefit. And today's event is a perfect example of that. We need to ensure that our military families are aware of this credit and that they use it if it applies to them. And it needs to be made available to every community in need. It's an act of social and economic justice all in one. It really is troubling to know that our men and women who have sacrificed so much for our country have this need. But it reminds me that our work to get this passed ensures it's reaching the right families. The state EITC was designed to supplement the federal EITC, a proven tool to reduce poverty among working families. And let me share with you some numbers that showcase the success that we've seen in California. In the first year, more than 385,000 working Californians received credits that totaled over $200 million. Last year, California families claimed more than $1.1 billion from the Cal EITC and the Young Child Tax Credit, and $5.7 billion from the federal EITC. That's $6.8 billion put into California. Since its inception, nearly 653,000 workers have received the credit, totaling about $143.8 million right here in San Diego County. These dollars help families make ends meet, and they power our community's economy and our state's economy. And that's why I really applaud and support this program that Citi is launching today. I understand that veteran peer-to-peer EITC campaign has had a great deal of success in Los Angeles. And there's no better place for a program like this than right here in San Diego, given our veteran population. As we're all aware, COVID has created an economic crisis for so many families, including those who served. This is money that is desperately needed during these difficult times. It's in everyone's interest to make sure these refunds aren't left on the table, especially for our veterans. And it's important for us to remember that when we talk about poverty and need, we often also are talking about children. Poverty severely reduces a child's chances for success later in life. Anything we can do to help their parents make ends meet is an investment in their future and collectively in our future. As we get closer to the April 15th filing deadline, it's so important for me, for my elected colleagues, as well as all of you, to help get word out to everyone we know and represent that this tax credit is available. that you don't have to owe taxes to get a credit, and that you can even file for previous years. So again, Chi, thank you. Thank you for your team at Citi. And thank you to all of those who are volunteering to be part of this peer-to-peer service. Thank you.
Thank you, Senate President Pro Tem Atkins. Our next speaker, Todd Gloria, a native San Diegan. He's a graduate of the University of San Diego and an enrolled member of the Tlingit Haida Indian Tribes of Alaska. His lifelong career in public service was inspired by a lesson his parents, a hotel maid and a gardener, taught him at a young age. If you care about something, then you should leave it better than you found it. He has not forgotten his humble beginnings, and that lesson continues to motivate him to improve the city every day. Last December 10th, many of us, including me, watched the inauguration of San Diego's 37th mayor. He's the first person of color and first LGBTQ person to ever be elected the city's mayor, an advocate whose actions support and uplift the veteran community and all diverse communities, a former city council member, council president, interim mayor, and California State Assembly mayor. I'm honored to welcome my mayor of San Diego, Mayor Todd Gloria.
Thank you, Chi. It is wonderful to see you virtually. I wish we were together in person. I know we've done events like this in the past together. These are always an important and good use of time. Thank you for allowing me to follow after my senator, Tony Atkins. I've made a career out of following Tony Atkins, and it's worked out pretty well for me. It's always great to share a stage with Tony. I certainly miss working with her daily up in Sacramento, but I am surely grateful for her leadership up in the state Senate. It has tremendously positive impacts on our city and on the San Diego region as a whole. Chi, to you and your team, thank you so much for letting me join you today. It's really important that we get this message out. I want to begin by thanking our friends at Citibank, including Colonel and Senior Vice President of City Community Relations, Ruth Christopherson, my friend, San Diego City College President, Dr. Ricky Shabazz, Dean Rose Lamoriga, and veteran volunteers like Mike Terzi and Kevin Jones. Thank you for your leadership and for what you do to expanding peer-to-peer EITC service program to help our veterans and local military families. This is one of the financial tools that we have to help those who are struggling to make ends meet. And as a state legislator working with Senator Atkins, we not only created this particular program, but have expanded it, recognizing the importance it is that it has for working families in California. I think what I love about the EITC program is that it's a transformational vehicle that literally puts money back into the pockets of families that work hard in our communities, the people that make cities like ours work. And it's, I've seen firsthand the positive impacts that the earned income tax credit can have on those families that so many of us spend so much time concerning ourselves with, particularly during the pandemic. I want to point out that in 2020, San Diego received over $29 million in the Cal EITC program, which is nearly 8% of all filers in the state. But that amount of unclaimed credits was about $1.4 million. And to put that in perspective, that money could have helped 45,000 working San Diego families. And so that's why this peer-to-peer effort is here. This is why we're together to get out the word. We want those 45,000 families to access those dollars. We know that this year, after the last year that we had, this money is more critical than ever, and we don't want to leave that money on the table. As a mayor, I want to say my shameless interest in this beyond the obvious of helping families is the fact that we know that when families get those dollars, they spend them in our local community. They spend them in small local businesses, in neighborhood businesses, the folks who are also struggling right now. And those ultimately end up in tax revenues that we use to make sure our neighborhoods are safe, that we're repairing our roads and our infrastructure, that we help the most vulnerable among us. So you see how making sure that more people participating in EITC puts money in their pockets, that puts money into local businesses, that puts money back into our neighborhoods and helps serve our communities. It is a win all the way around. And I think particularly why this word has to get out is that we know that in San Diego, these numbers are particularly impactful because our military families don't take advantage of this quite as much as we'd want. 1 in 5 veterans in San Diego did not claim this tax credit last year, 1 in 5. And when you know that San Diego is blessed and fortunate to have 250,000 veterans and military family members, families like mine, I always point out I'm the city's first Native American, Filipino, Puerto Rican, Dutch mayor. The way that happens is that all 4 of my grandparents came to San Diego for military service and then stayed after their service to our country. And so we have a large veteran population, but as I already mentioned, 1 in 5 veterans not accessing this credit tells us that we have so much more important work to do to get this out. So that's why programs like this are really important. The one we're launching today can make all the difference about whether or not we leave that money on the table, whether or not more families have those dollars in their pocket, and whether or not those dollars are staying local to support our economy at a time when we so desperately need it. This program is going to make a difference, and that's why I wanted to be here, to really show my support for it and to help get this message out. We all know that navigating our tax process is not easy in this country. So the assistance to tax filers and the claimed tax refunds and credits is a much needed resource for San Diegans generally, but for our veterans and their families particularly. And so this program will fill a need to help our veterans retain the benefit of the EITC and other tax programs, and to create a new generation of tax preparers to help assist our entire community. So in summation, I cannot thank Citibank enough, San Diego City College enough for embarking on this initiative. When we collaborate, when we work together, it is absolutely amazing what we can get done. And it is truly an honor to watch this program grow over the years and see it become more effective. Again, $29 million brought back to San Diego last year. Let's make sure that number grows. Let's make sure that we're supporting our working families. Thank you again for having me today. Chi, I'll throw it back to you with appreciation for all that you do for San Diego. I'm deeply grateful to have your leadership in our city.
Thank you, Mayor Gloria. And next we'll hear Monica Montgomery Steppe, who has worked as a City Council staff member, a civil rights lawyer, a criminal justice advocate for the American Civil Liberties Union in San Diego. She currently serves as a member of the City Council and one of the leaders of the San Diego City County Reinvestment Task Force. In my opinion, she's the North Star, leading the group's focus on racial equity and financial inclusion. Her consistent leadership has given the Reinvestment Task Force momentum to address the needs of our diverse communities. More recently, she was appointed by Senate President Atkins to California's Historic Reparations Task Force, a 9-member task force to explore the idea of reparations for Black people in California. Due to prior commitments, Councilmember Monica Montgomery Steppe of District 4 couldn't join today, but took time to prepare a video in support of financial inclusion. Moderator, would you please cue up the video?
Good morning. I am San Diego City Council member Monica Montgomery Steppe. It is an honor to join you today for this launch and to extend my congratulations to the Veteran Earned Income Tax Credit partners for this expansion into San Diego. I commend the impact you made in Los Angeles, serving 400 veterans and receiving nearly $2.5 million in refunds. I'm excited for the work to be done with our veteran community. As co-chair of the City County Reinvestment Task Force, I want to acknowledge the work of the Free Tax Prep San Diego partners, including the San Diego Housing Commission, the Reinvestment Task Force, Dreams for Change, and United Way. These services are important because they save low-income taxpayers an average of $200 to $300. Here in San Diego, the Reinvestment Task Force, along with our partners, opened tax prep sites at San Diego Housing Commission's affordable housing complexes and shopping malls. Across the board, our partners saw a significant increase in clients served. The role of public and private partnerships is crucial in expanding financial inclusion for our Black, Indigenous, and people of color, as these residents have been hardest hit by the pandemic's economic crisis. Many of them live in District 4, the area I represent on City Council. Thank you also to Citibank for your continued commitment to uplift our low to moderate income communities. Now, more than ever, we need all hands on deck to envision and create a financial future that ensures economic opportunity and recovery for all. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilmember and Madam Chair Montgomery Steppe. Up next, we'll hear from Bill York, who is the newest president and CEO of 2-in-1 San Diego. Bill is no stranger to veterans' causes. as he was recognized in 2015 as the San Diego County Veteran of the Year for his leadership and dedication in helping older and newer veterans. Under his leadership, 211 San Diego has grown to be the region's trusted source for community, social, health, and disaster services. Part of 211 services is the Courage to Call program, a peer-to-peer program staffed by trained veterans that connects active military and veterans to tailored services that meet their needs. Please welcome 211 San Diego President and CEO, Mr. Bill York.
Thank you, Chi. It's good to see you this morning, and thanks to Citi for hosting this and sponsoring this this program. And thank you to San Diego City College again for hosting us today. I do want to recognize Senate President Pro Tem Atkins and Mayor Gloria, and for their longtime partnership and leadership in California EITC and support of veterans. And as you mentioned, a veteran myself, I can see firsthand, again, sometimes the daunting task of filing taxes and the benefit of the Earned Income Tax Credit. It's incredible that California has the opportunity to supplement that with our California Income Tax Credit program as well. You know, at 211 San Diego, we strive to have equitable access for health and social services in our community. So, so our citizens of San Diego and throughout California can lead happier and healthier and sustainable, meaningful lives. So at 24 hours a day, 211 San Diego, 365 days a year, can connect individuals and families to disaster, food, military and veteran and child care information, and many, many more services. Specifically, and we can do that in over 208 languages. Specifically with our EITC program, our Earned Income Tax Credit program, and volunteer income tax sites, we had the opportunity over the last 5 years to actually directly affect our clients that are calling with screening for tax preparation. We work with state and local partners to help eligible individuals and families put that money back on the table by screening, looking at eligibility, and seeing if there's a volunteer income tax site, seeing the local partner that can provide that tax return information and set those appointments live over the phone with the 211 San Diego connector. We do this in partnership and actually sponsorship by the state of California and a local partnership with United Way San Diego's Earned Income Tax Program. So you can call us 24 hours a day. You can see if you're eligible, again, for EITC as well as the Young Child Tax Credit. And we're available 24 hours a day, as I mentioned. You know, in 211, we also, and Chi, you mentioned our Courage to Call program. We are so proud over the last 10 years to be a partner with San Diego County Mental Health Systems and Veterans Village of San Diego, creating the Courage to Call program. 24 hours a day, we actually have veterans, spouses, and family members peer-to-peer in serving our veterans locally in San Diego County. And there is over 250,000 veterans in San Diego. So, and I'm proud to be one of those members. So there's a great need in San Diego to recognize that and offer services. So 24 hours a day, again, we have Courage to Call, and we're proud to be working with Citibank in this veteran peer-to-peer program. Understanding that lived experience and connecting with a peer is truly the connection that is often needed for veterans serving. In closing, I would like everyone to learn more about the Earned Income Tax Credit program, learn more about Citibank and San Diego City College Veterans Peer-to-Peer Tax Program. You can call 211. You can ask for one of our tax specialists. You can follow the prompts, or you can ask the Courage to Call specialist at any time to connect you to those services to be screened. Again, we're proud to be partner. I'm proud to be back this year representing 211 San Diego and this great partnership that we have with Citi, San Diego City College, and everyone represented today. So thank you so much. We humbly thank you for the opportunity to share what we're doing in partnership with all of you.
And next, we'll hear a candid conversation between fellow veterans led by Ms. Ruth Christopherson, who's a former member of the South Dakota Air National Guard with over 30 years of service, culminating in attaining rank of colonel and holding the position of Chief of Staff for South Dakota Air National Guard prior to retirement. She's also a 24-year veteran of Citi, holding previous positions as the Financial Controller for Citi's Global Technology, Director of Operations for Student Loans, and Managing Director of Mortgage Wholesale Originations. She currently manages Citi Salutes, a company-wide initiative to support veterans, service members, and their families through dedicated programs, products, and partnerships, career opportunities, collaborating with peer institutions, and partnering with leading veteran service organizations in the areas of employment, financial education, and housing. She also serves as the Community Investing and Development Market Manager for South Dakota. And her most important role, in my opinion, is best Nana ever for her family. I'm honored to welcome retired Colonel and Senior Vice President, City Community Relations, Ms. Ruth Christopherson, along with Mr. Mike Tercey and Mr. Michael Spencer.
Well, thank you, Chi. And yes, best Nana ever is probably the best title I've ever had in my life. But I have been fortunate to be able to serve through the South Dakota Air Guard and enjoy the time I have now with Citi working in our veteran space. Citi has a long tradition of working with veterans, and we're dedicated to fostering a supportive environment for veterans, our colleagues internally, as well as the broader community, to help ensure they all have the opportunity to succeed. We're very much honored to be a partner with the organizations where we're using VITA and the Earned Income Tax Credit, and we look for all opportunities to uplift and support veterans across the nation. As Chi said, with me today, I have a couple fellow veterans, Marines, I'm sorry, I'm Air Force. I apologize a lot for that because I work a lot with my New York partners and they're all Marines or Army, and I know you guys share both those hats. So try and understand what this Air Force person who is just very soft compared to the Marines, and we'll get through this just fine. I would like to hear and have you share with our audience, you know, kind of your process. You were in the military, you transitioned, and here you are today. Now there's a lot of gaps in there. So I'm going to turn it over first to Mike to give us just a brief background on your journey, your transition, and a little bit about yourself.
Right on. Hi, Ruth. Thank you so much for having me today. And thank you everybody for letting me be here today. So I'm originally from Queens, New York. When I was 18, after high school, I decided to become an automotive mechanic. I did that in New York for 3 years, flipping cars basically. And then when I was 21, I had like a higher calling and I decided to enlist in the United States Marine Corps. I did 4 years in the Marine Corps as a Humvee mechanic. I was stationed with 2nd Battalion, 1st Marines. I went on 2 deployments to 2 Marine Expeditionary Units. I went all around the Middle East and all around Asia, got to explore all around the world. It was definitely an eye-opening experience for me. Then in 2017, I transitioned out of the Marine Corps and enrolled in San Diego Community College, where I then joined the VITA program.
Great, thank you. Michael, let's hear from you.
Okay. I'm from Detroit, Michigan. I graduated from high school and decided that I was going to go into the military. I first went into the U.S. Army. That was 3.5 years, did an inter-service transfer into the Marine Corps. Finished up 4 years in the Marine Corps, and I transitioned out. But once you're a Marine, you're always a Marine. So a lot of those, the training and the things that were instilled in me were still there. And so what I wanted to do was actually see how I could take what I had learned in the military and transition it out and assist other military individuals and civilians on how to do their taxes. It was something that I wanted to get into, but I didn't have any training in the tax field. And so when I registered for San Diego City College, what they did, they had not only the VITA program there, but they had the San Diego Technology Incubator, which gave me the opportunity to participate in the VITA program and at the same time mentor individuals that were on campus, whether they be veterans or civilians, and get them to understand exactly the opportunities of the VITA program. I participated in the VITA program 3 years, and what it has done for me now is to be able to take not only what I learned in the VITA program, but bring it into the community, let individuals know that they have that option of having, taxes being prepared for them if they can't afford it. And also to be able to learn how to do taxes, they can participate in the VITA tax program on their own. And one of my goals is when 2021 come around, I want to have a facility where I actually am one of the individuals that is sponsoring the service.
All right, thank you. Great. I know that you each have obviously attended San Diego City College. I see SD and I always think South Dakota, so I know San Diego is a little different. But San Diego City College, the coursework there, and you're obviously very committed to that institution. So tell us, why is it that, why City College and why do you continue to work? What are those benefits to you of why you're doing this and why you feel so strongly about working with the VITA program? Michael, we'll let you start this time. Hi, Mike, I got you back.
Thank you. Just to give you an idea, I would drive past City College and see it there. And then I just decided that this is something that I want to just get started on. So once I went and saw what type of program they had, and I saw all the other universities, in the San Diego area. But the thing about City College was that their professors that they had there were there for you. They and are still there for you. I can speak, toward my Professor Carr. They get you going. They help you in the class, but they tell you about the benefits that are outside the class. And then it's not something that they direct you to. They actually show you, bring you in, show you what's available, and back you up in terms of support constantly. So that's something that I was very impressed with. And I had saw that just from the beginning at registration, and then with the professors, and then with the organizations that they have on campus. And the VITA program was a great program for me. I can see that not only that it gives me an opportunity, if I wanted to actually substitute my income, but it actually gives me a chance to continuously serve the community, which is something that I take great pride in, and I really, really enjoy doing it.
Great. So Mike, we're going to shift gears a little bit. I don't want you guys to get comfortable. We need to share real experiences. So we heard Michael and those benefits of being at San Diego City College and how the personal approach, the fact that they were very supportive. And I want to hear that from you as well, but then let's lead into why peer-to-peer is so important. Why is it that for working in VITA, EITC, even what you do while you're at that college, why is it so important that veterans talk to veterans? Mike.
Hey, so as a business admin major, I had to take accounting classes, and that's where I met Professor Carr. She definitely persuaded me into joining the VITA program, told me a bunch of the benefits about it, and I had a free time on my hand going to just being a student, so I decided to give it a try. I did it for 3 years. I ended up doing it. The first year I was just a normal volunteer, and I really enjoyed just the communication aspect of it all, because you really get to talk to everybody that you're doing the taxes for. You get to know your community members, and I genuinely enjoyed it, as well as I was able to give them money that wasn't coming out of my pocket. So it was definitely an awesome benefit to give all that. After the first year, I just genuinely enjoyed it so much that I came back for the next 2 years. And the third year I was a site coordinator, and I was helping running the show there. And it felt really good to give back to the community. And to talk more about the peer-to-peer, as I mentioned before, like, you really get to know these people that you're doing the taxes for, but also the veteran community in community colleges, or just colleges in general. The military stays together. There's a lot of commonalities between all branches, and it definitely helps to know people that have gone through similar experiences than you.
Michael, any thoughts on that peer-to-peer, which I know as a veteran and working with veterans here in South Dakota and across the nation, that there truly is a camaraderie, as Mike said, but share with us some of your thoughts about that peer-to-peer and why it's so important as you continue to serve your community.
On my side, I guess it comes from veterans assisting me. I had a catastrophic injury when I was in the Marine Corps. And so actually being a part of the San Diego City College alumni community, the veterans within that community actually guided me to assist me, to show me how I could adjust. I had different things going on with my injury that involved pain, involved the taking of different medications, and when you're in something like that, you're always having something that could bring up a complication. It could have a complication in your studies. It can have a complication in you communicating with individuals. And what they would do, they would just sit you down and say, hey, this is the way you handle it. This is the way you do this. And veterans actually gave me more information than the VA itself. The veterans passed on the information to give me guidance how I could not only be within a program, but to actually succeed in that program and then take it to another level after I passed the program or finished the program. And that's what I did. I used that from the veterans, and that's what kept me going for the 3 years to actually continue with the VITA program for 3 years that I was a part of.
Great. The theme of the VITA piece, the being able to serve that way. I'd love to hear, and I would hope the rest of the audience would, other ways as you look forward. How do you see yourself serving your community as you continue to flourish in your civilian lives and move on beyond that college and within the business world or whatever world, IT? But I don't know who wants to start first on this one, but kind of give some thought on how do you continue to serve?
I guess I'll tackle this one first. Right now, COVID kind of makes this a little difficult, not gonna lie. But I recently just moved up to Humboldt. So up here, we have a VITA program up here that also I see that we could definitely volunteer at up here. So once that opens up here, I definitely want to continue to do the VITA program. I genuinely like it. I feel like I'm good at it. And I also love helping the community members. And I could definitely see there's a big need for it, not just in San Diego, but all throughout California, probably throughout all of America. So I definitely want to continue in this whole VITA journey, and I genuinely enjoy it.
Great. Michael, anything you want to add?
Yes, my side, I always like to take the community, and it's some things that could be done nonprofit, but it's some things that could be done for profit. And so I like to always guide individuals within the community that may come and participate in the VITA program, or individuals that may need to have their taxes done, and just tell them about the options, the opportunities that are out there for them to be able to do this on their own in the future. And also they can serve. I've always felt and saw that if you give first and you give in a great quantity, then you're taken care of. And so for myself, I see that just guiding individuals, showing them a new way of doing things. When COVID happened last year, I participated assisting businesses to show them how they could do a drive-through process at a local mall. You could just set up, take containers and turn them into portable offices or drive-throughs. and actually be able to use that to help individuals to be able to drive through and actually drop off their taxes and pick up their taxes. Also, that the system would be something that would enable the mall itself to survive, to have customers that couldn't get out and actually go into a mall. They could actually have it driven to the drive-through in an electric car and serve their clients. So it's just thinking of new ways to do things, and new ways to do things to encourage individuals that although there is a for-profit way of doing something, you gain more for profit if you give first and give in great quantity. And it just comes back in droves. And so that's something that I wanted to speak on. And I'm happy to be here, and I appreciate to have a chance to say that.
Well, I love hearing your journey. There are times when I listen to veteran stories. Even being a veteran, I know that I'm a veteran of many years ago. So those that are serving now or have recently served, you see so many more challenges out there. You have more conflicts in which you generally serve. And I'd like to know, I think it would be helpful for other veterans that might be watching this, and I'd love to talk about 211. We have a 211 here with the Courage to Call, so it's a great program. But something you might want to share with fellow veterans on getting out, on if they're eligible, do work with the VITA site, or maybe you want to share with another veteran why they should move forward in their transition and look for opportunities. Words of advice to veterans. Again, I will tell the audience, they got some test questions, but they didn't get these test questions. So I'm making you think a little bit, but I think hearing you both, you have so many great, you've made many great choices, and you're heartfelt in what you want to do. So who wants to take it first? Talk about what inspires you and why you would offer that advice to other veterans.
I'll go first. Yes, if I'm speaking to veterans, I would say the veterans that are watching right now, I'm a private person, and I was severely injured. So I don't speak on that, but I know veterans who have come to me and told me on it, how to just focus on something that you want. And if you have family around you, just be patient, because they're going to be patient with you because they love you. And you want to be patient with them, but you have different things that you want to still pursue, even though you may have a disability. You can still do it. I see veterans every single day that get out there and just do it. Just find something that they want to do and do it. And I would say, if you would think about participating in the VITA program, it's you meet individuals, regular individuals, everyday people, and just their stories and the conversations that you have with them while you're preparing their taxes, and the individuals that are there who may not be preparing your taxes that may come to you and assist you while you're waiting. You gain something by that personal communication that you have with the individuals. And so I think that is something that have given me peace of mind to be able to come out of that shell and be able to come and say, hey, this is something that I see that it's made an extraordinary change in my life, and it's given me some peace. And I would like to pass that on and say that this program assists in that, with that person-to-person communication.
Wise advice. Mike.
Cool. Yeah, I'm going to bounce a little off what Michael said earlier, actually. And basically, coming out of the Marine Corps and getting out of the service and going into college, it's really important to really connect with other veterans in the community, because there's a lot of, it's not the easiest transition going from the military to community college. There's a lot of stuff that I genuinely had no idea about. I didn't know what a 100 class was to a 300 class. Like all that stuff wasn't really taught in the Marine Corps. And you're not really gonna learn it until either you go through it or somebody else teaches you. So I would recommend all the veterans transitioning out to, I guess, have like a mentor or have somebody in that's a student veteran that's already been through it. And I tell you this much, when I was a senior, like I was definitely trying to mentor as many freshmen, sophomores, and juniors as I can, because there's a lot of questions to be had, and it could be really helpful just having somebody close that can really help you, guide you through that whole journey. As talking about more about helping out in the VITA program, as a transplant coming from Queens, New York, and now just living in San Diego for the first time, it just helps you get out and meet members of your community. I feel like that's really important when you're a transplant too, because you really know nobody when you first move there. So it genuinely helped the whole move to a new city and everything, and helped the whole transition.
Great, thank you. I know because of COVID and everything that's going on in our world, that this virtual platform is how we meet, but I will tell you, I really wish we were sitting in person so I get to know you guys better. It's been great visiting with you. You know, a final thought. So as you sit here, you're providing great advice. Who's the one person that you think you'd love to be able to call up, Zoom up, whatever, dead or alive, even real or not real, that you'd like to have a conversation with? Up for grabs.
I take that one. Oh, okay. On me, I'd say it would be President Trump. When I was around about 12 years old, my father, he was watching President Trump father on TV, and he was watching how he was talking about how he raised them and how he would tell them different things about not being spoiled by the money that they're going to get, and they'd have to work for it. And so what my father did at that time, my father was disabled from Chrysler. Crates fell on him and hurt his back. And so he was there for me. And for him to actually be saying that to me at that time, I was stunned in a way that he was saying that he was similar to President Trump's father, that if he had the millions, that's how he would raise me. And so I followed President Trump's, I just followed exactly what he was doing, and just kept keeping an eye on it. And I see the man has faults and different things like that, but every man has faults. And we're not here to judge, we'll be judged one day, but everyone has faults. But look at the good things. And I looked at what my father told me to watch, and I see that he's a winner, and he loves this country, and he loves individuals to take them so that they can not just have a handout, but they can actually do for themselves. They can actually make it for themselves, no matter if they're disabled, what color they are. You can actually do it on your own. Right. And so that's an inspiration that I would like to have a conversation.
All right, Mike.
All right, well, this is going to be a pretty basic answer for a 28-year-old college student, but it's going to be Elon Musk. Honestly, I'm a business admin major, so I really like the idea of entrepreneurship and just being a visionary of the future. What he really came up while I was in college, and just his vision, and it just made me curious about what I could learn and how, just what the world could possibly be. It really opened up my eyes, and I definitely look towards him as a role model. I definitely want to be more like an entrepreneur like him to change the world for the better. And that's definitely one of my goals in life. And I would love to meet him one day. Definitely try and go underneath one of those underground tunnels maybe, or, riding the Cybertruck or something fun like that. I think it'll be fun hanging out with him.
Well, great. Well, again, thank you both so much for joining us and sharing and putting up with my off the wall questions sometimes.
No, you've been great.
Great.
Yeah, thank you, Ruth.
I really enjoyed this. And I want to say a special thank you to San Diego City College, to CSUN also, who started the VITA to veterans. And we appreciate the risk you all have taken with starting new programs, rolling out, and really helping our veterans. With that, Chi, I'm going to turn it back to you.
Thank you. Thank you, Ruth, Mr. Tercey, Mr. Spencer. And thank you for allowing us to listen in on your conversation and for the extra bonus questions that allowed us to lean in and learn more about all of you. So as one of my mentors had said, we all recognize and salute the brave men and women in uniform who serve our country. At Citi, we strongly believe that we need to give back and do that through our programs and partnerships that offer job readiness, skills, employment, and financial inclusion. And before I close, I also want to thank San Diego City College Professor Shana Carr and Citi's Corporate Communications Sharon Den for being my thought partner in this process, our global event production team for the behind the scenes support, and all of you for joining Veterans Helping Veterans through financial inclusion, and also to share with you some resources so you can find information about the Volunteer Income Tax Assistance Tax Preparation Training, how to volunteer to be a tax preparer, and how to find locations offering free tax preparation services. Thank you.